Chat, does everyone still hate Utami? Is Utami still canceled? Oh, this is his apology thing, right? Yeah, I saw this. Very sad. I was hoping for him to send out a shitty ass apology so Moist Critical can make another video on it. Another video, not really, but like, you get what I'm trying to say. We need to get the Moist meter for apologies. But this one's actually good. Wait. Over a year ago, I stated a response would be written after what happened. Before making irrational decisions due to a lack of emotional and mental stability, I spoke with trusted individuals, stepping away to reflect on everything. I'm sorry to everyone I hurt. There was a lot of misconduct and wrongdoings. No excuses exist for it all. I'm sorry for everything that I did. The behavior that I had as a person was completely unacceptable and unfair. I acknowledge what I did was horrible, and I accept full responsibility for my words and actions. Time removed from the internet and my own head in general has helped me learn a lot. Still a long way to go, but I'm always looking to better myself every day. Therapy sessions, meeting up with psychiatrists, and just learning from others to gain knowledge and different perspectives. For some, I've been able to reconcile with. Others, I wish to do so as well. I don't want to remove myself from this responsibility, which is why I'm opening up about it now. Once again, I'm sorry for everything. It's pretty good, man.
Btmc'S is raiding with a party of 85.
Whoa, hello Btmc'S. Good morning. How's it going, man? Beat Saber raid. What's up, dude? Yo, we're talking about the return of a former #1 United States player. It's pretty dope. Anyways, chat, is Utami still canceled? Chat, the worst thing he did was like jack off in the call, right? I don't know. That's pretty fucking strange. I don't know. People treated like he like, you know, did something like a lot more fucked up. Which, I don't know. I'm not sure if I really have any sort of valid opinion on this, but yeah, he was 17 at the time. I thought he was 16 or some shit. It's been like a year and a half. Wait, what? He said he was gonna drug and R someone. See, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. However, I feel like people type that in Valorant chat all the time, and people say and think of that as a joke and is funny and are like, ha ha ha, Valorant e-boy dude type thing. You know what I'm saying? So like on one hand, I'm like, yeah, that's fucked up. But on the other hand, I feel like it's also been like slightly normalized, which isn't good, but it's also like, all I'm trying to say is Utami still canceled? Chat. If I speak, I will be in big trouble. However, I will speak anyway. So this last weekend, I hung out with some OWC people. Utami was one of them. This is my first time hanging out with him since Roundtable. And I was very curious, all right? Because I'm a person who always believes that a second chance is deserved. Okay? I believe everyone deserves a second chance. But I don't believe that everyone is obligated to give it to them. That is like my fundamental beliefs for me personally, okay? So, from that, I've seen a lot of my friends get canceled over the years. All right? But I've also seen a lot of those same people change over time. And that's what I'm mainly focused on. That's what I'm mainly curious about, okay? So I remember when all of this shit about Utami first dropped, and I thought, holy fuck, dude, this is bad. This is really fucking bad. And of course, I had to keep my own distance away. However, I still had this in the back of my mind of like, what is he going to do in the meanwhile? You know what I'm saying? Is he actually going to do the right thing, which is work on himself and try to come out of this a better person? Not even talking, like, we're not even getting to the point of coming back to the community. But like, yeah, like, is he going to do the correct thing for himself to better himself? That's what I'm mainly interested in, right? And so, when I had the opportunity to hang out with him, I said yes. However, I know what getting canceled does to you. All right? Because I've seen it happen so many times. Hasn't necessarily happened to me yet, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We'll see. But I've seen so many of my own friends go through it for very valid mistakes. And I know it is an experience that I would never wish upon anyone, for sure. And I just remember, all right, when I first met him, when I first saw him over this weekend, I asked him how he's been. And the first thing that came out of his mouth was a single word in the most depressing, heartbroken, like, defeated tone. And that word was healing. I talked with him a lot over the weekend. We went on a hike together to the Hollywood sign. We had like dinner together. Drove him around and stuff. So we talked a lot. And although I feel like although this is just my experience in my conversation with him, I feel like he's done the right things to better himself, to make me personally comfortable with giving him a second chance and accepting him as a friend. That's for me personally. However, what the community decides to do is something completely different. Weren't you just asking what he did earlier? See, the thing is, I have my own recollections of what he did, but I just wanted to confirm that, you know, we were both on the same page. That everyone was on the same page of his history, right? And so, through that weekend of talking with him myself, check the box for me. He made a mistake. I feel like over the course of the last 1.5 years, I'm willing to accept him and give him that second chance. But, again, I believe that everyone deserves a second chance. I don't believe that anyone else is obligated to give that second chance to them. Right? I'm willing to give that. So what I'm really curious is, will the greater community at large give Utami a second chance? So that's what I'm really curious about. Because there's like a difference, right? People do bring up the round table. And I will say, when all this shit broke out, that was like after the round table won. And he won the round table one, right? However, when all that stuff broke out, it immediately threw a fucking shaft in like the round table brand. It was like an insult almost, right? That I put so much trust in like this player only for them to be revealed to be this absolutely fucked up person, right? So I was very upset when it first came out. But after spending a lot of time with him, for me, I'm willing to forgive him on a personal level. However, what really matters when it comes to, because people were talking about like the round table and stuff, what really comes up when it comes to events like that is really what other people think. Because at the end of the day, I just want to host the best event possible. And if the majority of people still have like these negative opinions about Utami, I gotta respect that. All right. So that's how I'm really curious to see what the read is on the community at large. So, yeah, very interesting. I think people just don't care, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's very interesting because most people don't even know, like, most people don't even know the context of what happened. And I'm like, huh? Maybe it's just me. I feel like it's more about whether or not the victims are willing to accept his apology, not the community. Here's an interesting, like, slightly parallel. You guys know that I'm really close with Albert Chang, right? Albert Chang was obviously canceled a long, long time ago. And even though, like, when I first met him, it was after the fact. I didn't really know him much before the incident. He was still a person that I respected and still a person that I chose to to spend a lot of time with. And during that time, I still, like, through my personal experiences with him, he's like a person that I respect a lot, a person that I even look up to a lot, right? It's just, there's just like a stain, you know what I'm saying? Because of his past. However, I also share the mindset that it's not really, you know, I can have my own opinions on it, but what really matters are the people involved, the victims involved. And so, from what I understand, is that in the time since the incident with Albert, like, him and Lily are on good terms. Enough to the point where they're able to literally be on set together. Like, Lily being able to, like, reach out to him to, like, help work on production sets or something like that. And so in my book, I'm like, okay, if she's cool with it, then, like, is there really, you know, any reason to complain? You know, is there really any real concern here? And so, if you're putting it under the general mindset when there's controversy that it's more about the victims, technically speaking, under this specific situation, I believe that there shouldn't be an issue. That Albie should be in the clear to even, like, come back and do content, whatever. However, the fact is, there will always be a group of people who will never forgive what Albert did. And you still see that even in the the OTV and friends circles, in the communities. So, what did he even do? He cheated on Lily Pichu. So it's like, yeah. So that's why I'm like, there's this other parallel here, all right? Another person I'm also obviously close with who doesn't have, you know, a perfect reputation on the internet. Yet I still choose to spend time with him because despite that, he's a person that I still view as very close and someone that I respect a lot. And so with this Utami situation, I feel like, you know, it's not the exact same, right? It's not that he, like, broke someone's trust, all right? He kind of he was like he did some really weird things. So when it comes to Utami, it's like yeah. However, I still feel like the public sentiment response is still something that I am interested in, because this does get involved with, like, what I do. Because, like, I still feel like Utami is a player who could be a very positive shift for this community. The OC community, I'm not sure if this is the right word, but I feel like the OC community needs talent, right? And I feel like Utami is a person who has a ton of talent that could, if used in the correct way, lift the community up. there's this constant bleed of its player base and its talent. People put so much time into like learning the game, into mastering this craft, into being able to compete at a high enough level. And at that point, you're so ahead of the curve in having, you know, talent to actually do things that no one else can do in the community. Like, you just need to take one extra step and you could make a positive shift. That's literally what I did, by the way, right? Like, I became a top player, right? All I did was literally just live stream myself playing the game and eventually organically grew an audience. I'm not saying that anyone else can necessarily do the same things and do that, but I'm pretty sure that if you already went through the first step of being good at the game, I'm pretty confident that if I were to work with you and give you some guidance, that you could potentially achieve similar levels of success and similarly have a positive influence on the community. And so that's what I'm interested in, right? That's what I'm interested in. I want this community to grow in a positive way. And I see Utami as a person who may be able to, you know, help do some of the heavy lifting as well. Whether that be a player that people look up to for being exceptionally skilled, or whether that be a person who's able to share their knowledge to make the game more accessible to learning how to play at a high level. Whether it's through being a personality that people can look up to because he's a very chill person at heart. So it's like, I see so much potential in this man. But at the end of the day, because of this sort of reputational risk, if the community won't accept him, that immediately like throws a shaft in that path. So yeah, it's kind of tough. Obviously, there's always going to be a bit of risk, right? I knew that when I knew like hanging out with Albert Chang, that it would be, you know, it might put me at risk because, you know, this guy has basically been exiled off of the internet. Yet despite that, I still chose to continue to hang out with him and even like publicly, you know, publicly associate myself with him and talk about my experiences with him and you know, voice myself as like a friend of his. And so basically what I'm doing now is taking the same risk. I'm taking the same risk for Utami. Utami has this massive stain on his reputation. And this is fundamentally a risk to my own reputation as well. But all I will say is that because due to my experiences with him over the weekend, I feel like that he's done the right things to earn my respect again. And even though this may be a danger, or people may this may damage the reputation of this channel, I'm happy to personally associate with him because I feel like he's changed in a positive way. So yeah. That's it. Now, what that doesn't change is the fact that he will be destroyed in United States Cup this weekend because Team Virginia will absolutely obliterate him. That won't change. Okay? Utami will be destroyed. Okay? That doesn't matter. All right? I spent an entire weekend with him. I've seen firsthand that he is washed. Okay? And there's no way that he derusts in a fucking week. Good luck, Utami. You're fucked.